a gentle beginning toward freedom and light. Before praying, let us read Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. There are moments when the heart feels quietly burdened, as if something unseen has settled upon the soul and refuses to leave. These moments are often difficult to explain, yet deeply real. Fear may try to speak during such times, suggesting that something is wrong, something is hidden, or something must be urgently fought. But this passage gently reminds us that our first response is not fear, but trust. The Lord is not distant from your experience. He is near, attentive, and actively guiding you, even when you cannot fully sense his movement. Like a shepherd who knows every path and every need, he leads you with care into places where your spirit can rest and be restored. As you reflect on these words, allow your thoughts to slow down and soften. Notice how the imagery invites you away from striving and into stillness. You are not required to carry every burden alone or solve every mystery that troubles your mind. Even in the valley, even in moments that feel shadowed or uncertain, there is a presence that remains steady and faithful. When we speak of breaking every curse and every evil assignment, we are not stepping into a place of panic or struggle. Instead, we are returning to the truth that God's presence is already greater than anything that tries to disturb your peace. His guidance is gentle, but it is also powerful, and it leads you out of fear into quiet assurance. Let your heart receive this truth slowly. There is a table prepared for you, even in the presence of what once felt threatening or overwhelming. This means you are not removed from difficulty, but you are sustained within it. There is an anointing placed upon your life that speaks of care, dignity, and divine covering. Your cup is not empty, even if it has felt that way. It is being filled again, gently and steadily, with grace that meets you exactly where you are. Goodness and mercy are not distant ideas. They are actively following you, surrounding you, and shaping your path with quiet faithfulness. In this moment, you are invited to rest, not to strive. You are invited to trust, not to fear. The shepherd is near, and his presence is enough. Every shadow begins to lose its hold when you remember that you are not walking alone. Every burden becomes lighter when placed into his hands. And even now, something within you can begin to soften, to breathe, and to believe again in the gentle, restoring power of God's love, resting in quiet authority and gentle release. There is a quiet authority that comes from being held in the presence of God, an authority that does not strive or struggle, yet gently overcomes everything that tries to disturb your peace. It is not loud, not forceful, and not driven by fear. Instead, it is steady, calm, and deeply rooted in truth. When you begin to rest in this authority, something within you starts to shift. The tension that once felt constant begins to loosen, and the need to understand every unseen thing slowly fades. You realize that you are not called to live in fear of what might be working against you, but to rest in the assurance of who is already for you. Sometimes the mind tries to search for explanations, trying to identify every possible cause of discomfort or heaviness. It asks questions without answers and creates scenarios that lead only to more unrest. But God's presence invites you away from that restless searching. He does not overwhelm you with complexity. He gently leads you into simplicity, where trust replaces overthinking. In his presence, you do not need to chase clarity in every direction. You only need to remain still long enough to remember that you are already covered, already guided, and already protected. As this truth settles into your heart, you may begin to notice a soft release within you. The tightness in your chest eases. The constant alertness begins to quiet down. The fear that once felt urgent starts to lose its voice. This is not because you have solved everything, but because you are no longer carrying everything alone. God's authority is not something you must activate through effort. It is something you receive through surrender, and in that surrender, you are not becoming weak. You are becoming anchored in something far stronger than your own understanding. There is also a gentle reminder rising within you. Not everything that feels heavy has power over you. Feelings can pass through your heart without defining your reality. Thoughts can come and go without becoming your truth. You are not at the mercy of every sensation or every fear. You are grounded in something deeper, something unshaken. God's presence within you is steady, even when your emotions are not. His peace remains, even when your thoughts feel unsettled. And as you continue to rest in Him, that peace begins to shape your inner world more than fear ever could. Take a slow breath and allow yourself to fully enter this moment. You are safe here. You are not being pursued by harm, but surrounded by grace. Even if you have felt pressure before, even if there have been moments of confusion or unease, those moments do not define your future. They are passing shadows, not permanent realities. The light of God's presence is far more enduring, and it gently pushes back everything that does not belong. In this stillness, you are invited to release again. Release the habit of expecting something negative. Release the quiet fear that something unseen has control. Release the need to protect yourself through constant vigilance. You do not need to live guarded in this way. God Himself is your covering, your refuge, and your peace. His care for you is not partial or uncertain. It is complete, constant, and deeply personal. As you continue on this journey, remember that freedom often comes softly. It does not always arrive with sudden intensity. Sometimes it unfolds quietly, layer by layer, as your heart learns to trust again. And in that gentle unfolding, you begin to realize something beautiful. You were never alone, never unprotected, and never without hope. Even now, you are being restored in ways you may not fully see, but can slowly begin to feel. A gentle prayer of release and renewed covering. In this quiet and tender moment, let your heart turn toward God without pressure or fear. You do not need perfect words, and you do not need to prove anything. You are simply invited to come as you are, with everything you carry, both seen and unseen. Prayer is not a place of striving, but a place of resting. It is where your soul can gently open, releasing what has been held too tightly for too long. As you begin, allow your breathing to slow, and let your thoughts settle. You are not alone in this moment. God is already near, already attentive, already listening with deep compassion. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a quiet heart. I do not hide my fears, and I do not pretend to be stronger than I feel. You see everything within me, every thought, every emotion, every burden I have carried in silence. Today, I choose to place all of it into your hands. Every heaviness that has rested on my spirit, every fear that has whispered in my mind, and every unseen pressure that has caused me to feel unsettled, I release it now. I trust that you are greater than anything that tries to disturb my peace. I trust that your presence is stronger than any darkness, and that your love surrounds me completely. Lord, I gently declare that my life belongs to you. I am covered by your grace, and I am held within your care. Nothing outside of your will can take hold of me. Every shadow that has tried to linger must now fade in the light of your truth. Every anxious thought must soften and give way to calm assurance. I do not stand in fear, but in quiet trust. I do not fight with anxiety, but rest in your authority. You are my refuge, my covering, and my peace. Even when I do not feel strong, you remain steady within me. Let your peace flow through me like a gentle river, washing away every trace of tension and fear. Let your truth settle deeply into my heart, replacing confusion with clarity and unrest with calm. I release the need to understand everything, and I choose to trust you completely. I release the need to control every outcome, and I rest in the knowledge that you are already guiding my path. Even now, something within me is being restored. Even now, something within me is becoming lighter. I also speak life over myself with gentleness and faith. I am not bound by fear, I am not defined by past struggles. I am not under the influence of anything that does not come from God. I am protected, guided, and renewed each day. My mind is being calm. My heart is being strengthened. My spirit is being lifted into peace. Even if I do not see immediate change, I trust that something is quietly shifting in my favor. Father, thank you for your constant presence. Thank you for staying close to me even when I have felt distant. Thank you for being my peace when my thoughts felt overwhelming and my rest when my heart felt tired. I receive your covering now, not as something far away, but as something near, something real, and something deeply comforting. As this prayer comes to a close, I remain in your presence. I do not rush away from this peace. I stay here knowing that I am safe, I am held, and I am gently restored. Walking gently in renewed peace. There is a quiet shift that begins to take place after you have released your burdens into God's hands. It may not feel dramatic or sudden, but it is real and steady. Something within you starts to settle, like waters that were once disturbed now becoming calm again. This is how restoration often begins, not with noise or intensity, but with gentle peace, returning to places that once felt restless. You may still remember what troubled you, but it no longer holds the same weight. Its voice becomes softer, less convincing, and easier to release. As you continue forward, you are not the same as before. Even if the change feels small, it is meaningful. You have chosen to trust instead of fear, to rest instead of strive, and to believe in God's presence instead of questioning your safety. These choices, though quiet, create a strong foundation within your spirit. They allow you to walk through your days with a different awareness, one that is not focused on what might go wrong, but on the steady truth that God is with you in every moment. There may still be times when old thoughts try to return, whispering familiar fears or uncertainties. When that happens, you do not need to panic or feel discouraged. This is simply part of the process of renewal. Instead of resisting with tension, you can gently acknowledge those thoughts and let them pass. You can remind yourself, softly and calmly, that you have already placed your trust in God. You can return to that place of quiet assurance where His peace remains unchanged. Walking in this renewed peace also means allowing yourself to live more freely. You are no longer bound to constant vigilance or silent worry. You can breathe more deeply, think more clearly, and move through your day with a sense of calm presence. This does not mean that life will be without challenges, but it does mean that challenges will no longer define your inner state. You carry something greater within you, something steady and unshaken. Take a moment now to notice how your body feels. Perhaps there is a little more ease, a little more space within your thoughts. Perhaps your breathing feels softer, your shoulders less tense. These small signs are meaningful. They reflect the gentle work that God is doing within you. Restoration is not always loud, but it is always faithful. It continues even when you are not fully aware of it. You are also learning a new way of responding to life. Instead of reacting quickly with fear, you are learning to pause, to breathe, and to trust. This pause creates space for peace to remain. It allows you to respond from a place of calm rather than urgency. And in that calm, you begin to see things more clearly. What once felt overwhelming now feels manageable. What once felt threatening now feels distant. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. You are not alone, and you are not unprotected. God's presence walks with you quietly, consistently, and faithfully. There is no need to rush, no need to force anything to change. What is being restored within you will continue to grow at the right pace. Even now, you are becoming more grounded, more peaceful, and more secure. And this gentle transformation will continue, one step at a time, as you remain in the quiet comfort of God's presence, remaining in gentle trust through every moment. There is a quiet strength that begins to grow within you as you continue this journey, a strength that does not rely on force, but on steady trust. It is not something you have to prove or defend. It simply unfolds as you remain connected to God's presence. Day by day, moment by moment, you are learning that peace is not something distant or fragile. It is something that can remain with you, even in the middle of uncertainty. This gentle strength allows you to face each moment without fear taking control. As life continues, there may still be situations that feel unclear or uncomfortable. Not everything will immediately appear resolved, and not every question will have a quick answer. But you are no longer responding in the same way as before. Instead of becoming overwhelmed, you are learning to stay grounded. Instead of assuming the worst, you are choosing to trust the one who sees the full picture. This shift may feel subtle, but it changes everything about how you experience your daily life. Trust does not mean that you ignore your feelings. It means you bring them into a place of peace rather than letting them lead you into fear. When a heavy thought arises, you can gently acknowledge it without allowing it to settle deeply. You can remind yourself that your foundation is not built on passing emotions, but on God's steady presence. In doing so, you create space for calm to return again and again, even when challenges appear. There is also a deeper awareness forming within you. You are beginning to recognize the difference between what is real and what is only felt in the moment. Feelings can be intense, but they are not always permanent. God's truth, however, remains unchanged. As you hold on to that truth, your perspective begins to shift. You start to see that not everything requires a reaction. Some things simply need to be released and allowed to pass. In this place of gentle trust, you are no longer carrying everything on your own. You are allowing God to hold what feels too heavy. You are allowing His peace to settle into the spaces that once felt filled with tension. This is not weakness. It is a quiet form of strength that brings lasting stability. It allows you to move through your day without being constantly shaken by every thought or feeling. Take a moment to notice how this trust feels within you. It may feel like a soft steadiness, a quiet reassurance that everything will be okay. It may feel like a gentle pause between anxious thoughts, giving you space to breathe. These moments are important. They are signs that something within you is changing, becoming more rooted, more peaceful, and more aligned with God's presence. You are also learning patience with yourself. Growth does not happen all at once. There will be days when you feel strong and calm, and other days when you feel uncertain again. Both are part of the journey. What matters is that you continue returning to this place of trust. Each time you do, you strengthen that connection, making it easier to find peace again. As you move forward, carry this quiet understanding with you. You are not alone in any moment. God walks with you in every step, even the ones that feel small or uncertain. His presence does not leave when you feel unsure. It remains constant, offering guidance, comfort, and peace. And so, you continue gently, without pressure, without fear. You move forward with a heart that is learning to trust more deeply, rest more fully, and live more peacefully in the presence of God. Growing in quiet confidence and inner stability. As you continue this gentle journey, something deeper begins to take root within you. It is a quiet confidence, not loud or demanding, but steady and present. This confidence does not come from knowing everything or controlling every situation. It comes from trusting that God is already at work in your life, even in ways you cannot fully see. Over time, this trust becomes a foundation, allowing you to stand firm even when circumstances feel uncertain. You may begin to notice that situations which once caused anxiety no longer affect you in the same way. Where there was once tension, there is now space. Where there was once fear, there is now a growing sense of calm. This does not mean that challenges disappear, but it does mean that your response to them is changing. You are no longer easily shaken because your sense of peace is not dependent on what happens around you. It is rooted in something far more stable. There is also a gentle clarity forming within your thoughts. You are learning to recognize what deserves your attention and what can be released. Not every thought needs to be followed. Not every feeling needs to be held onto. Some things simply pass through, and you can let them go without resistance. This awareness brings a sense of freedom. You are no longer caught in every wave of emotion, but able to remain grounded even as those waves come and go. In this place of growing stability, you begin to trust yourself more as well, not in isolation, but in alignment with God's presence within you. You start to sense when something is peaceful and when something is not. You begin to follow that peace, allowing it to guide your choices and your responses. This inner guidance is gentle, but it is reliable. It leads you away from confusion and into clarity, away from fear and into calm assurance. Take a moment to reflect on how far you have come. Even if the changes feel small, they are meaningful. Each moment of choosing peace over fear, each decision to trust instead of worry, has been shaping something strong within you. Growth often happens quietly, without dramatic signs, but its effects are lasting. You are becoming more grounded, more centered, and more at ease within yourself. There may still be moments when uncertainty arises, and that is okay. These moments do not erase your progress. They are simply reminders to return again to what you have learned. When they come, you can pause, breathe, and gently bring your focus back to God's presence. You do not need to react immediately. You can allow peace to return before responding. This simple practice strengthens your stability over time. You are also learning that peace is not something you have to chase. It is something you can return to again and again. It is already available within you, anchored in God's presence. The more you rest in that truth, the more natural it becomes to live from a place of calm rather than fear. This does not require effort, only willingness. As you move forward, carry this quiet confidence with you. Let it guide your steps and shape your perspective. You are not the same as before. You are stronger, steadier, and more at peace. And this transformation will continue, gently and faithfully, as you remain rooted in God's presence, embracing light beyond every shadow. As you continue walking forward, you may begin to notice that the shadows which once felt close no longer surround you in the same way. They may still appear at times, but they do not stay. There is a growing light within you now, a quiet and steady presence that gently pushes back anything that does not belong. This light is not something you created on your own. It is the reflection of God's presence working within you, bringing clarity, warmth, and peace into places that once felt uncertain. There is something deeply comforting about realizing that darkness does not need to be fought with fear. It simply cannot remain where light is welcomed. This truth allows you to relax in a new way. You are no longer scanning your surroundings with concern, wondering what might come next. Instead, you are learning to remain present, grounded in the awareness that God's presence is already greater than anything you might face. This awareness does not remove every challenge, but it transforms how you experience them. As your perspective continues to shift, you begin to see yourself differently as well. You are not fragile or easily overcome. You are resilient, supported, and guided. Even in moments when you feel uncertain, there is a deeper part of you that remains steady. This steadiness is not based on your own strength alone, but on the constant presence of God within you. It is this presence that allows you to move forward without fear taking control. There is also a gentle sense of renewal taking place in your thoughts. Old patterns that once led you into worry are beginning to lose their influence. In their place, new patterns are forming, patterns of trust, calm reflection, and quiet assurance. You may find yourself pausing more often, breathing more deeply, and choosing peace even when it would have been easier to react with fear before. These changes are subtle, but they are powerful. They show that something within you is being transformed. Take a moment to appreciate this transformation. You do not need to rush it or question it. It is unfolding naturally as you remain open to God's presence. Each step you take in trust strengthens this new way of being. Each moment of peace you allow reinforces the light within you. Over time, this light becomes your natural state, something you carry with you wherever you go. There may still be moments when old fears try to return, but they no longer have the same hold. When they appear, you can gently acknowledge them and let them pass. You do not need to engage with them or give them power. Instead, you can return your focus to the truth that has been growing within you. You are held, you are guided, and you are safe. As you continue on this path, remember that you are not moving alone. God walks with you in every step, quietly guiding and strengthening you. His presence is not distant or conditional. It is constant, faithful, and deeply personal. This is the source of the light within you, and it will not fade. So you continue forward with a calm and steady heart. You embrace the light that now fills your path, trusting that it will lead you wherever you need to go. And with each step, you move further away from fear and deeper into peace, living daily in gentle freedom and lasting peace. As you continue this journey, a quiet sense of freedom begins to settle more deeply into your daily life. It is not a dramatic or overwhelming feeling, but something soft, steady, and reassuring. You begin to notice that your thoughts are no longer as crowded, and your heart no longer carries the same weight it once did. There is space now, space to breathe, to reflect, and to simply be. This freedom is not something distant or temporary. It is something that grows gently within you as you remain connected to God's presence. Each day becomes an opportunity to walk in this freedom, not by forcing yourself to feel a certain way, but by allowing peace to guide you naturally. You wake up with a little more calm, move through your day with a little more clarity, and rest with a little more ease. Even when challenges arise, they no longer define your entire experience. They become moments within your day, not the center of it. This shift is quiet, but it changes everything. You may begin to notice how differently you respond to situations that once caused tension. Where there was once immediate worry, there is now a pause. In that pause, you remember that you are not alone. You remember that God is with you, guiding you and holding you steady. This simple awareness allows you to respond with calm rather than fear. It allows you to move forward without being overwhelmed by every uncertainty. There is also a deeper sense of trust forming within you. You are learning to trust not only in God's presence, but in the peace He places within your heart. This peace becomes a guide, gently leading you away from what disturbs you and toward what restores you. It is not loud or forceful, but it is clear, and the more you listen to it, the more natural it becomes to follow. In this place of gentle freedom, you are no longer carrying the same fears that once felt so heavy. They may still appear from time to time, but they do not stay. They pass through without taking root because your foundation has changed. You are no longer rooted in uncertainty, but in steady trust. This shift allows you to experience life with more openness, more calm, and more quiet joy. Take a moment to reflect on how far you have come. Even if the journey felt slow at times, every step has mattered. Every moment of choosing peace, every decision to trust, has been shaping something beautiful within you. You are not the same as you were before. You are lighter, steadier, and more at ease within yourself. As you continue forward, allow this freedom to remain simple. You do not need to hold on to it tightly or protect it with effort. It is sustained by God's presence, not by your striving. All you need to do is remain open, remain aware, and gently return to peace whenever you feel unsettled. And so, you walk on, not with fear, but with quiet confidence, not with heaviness, but with lightness, not with uncertainty, but with trust. Each step you take is supported, guided, and gently held in the presence of God, standing gently in lasting restoration. As you arrive at this point in your journey, there is a quiet realization forming within you. You are not where you once were. The weight that once felt constant has softened. The fear that once felt loud has become distant. And in its place, there is something steady, something calm, something deeply rooted in peace. This is not something you forced into existence. It is something that has been gently formed within you as you chose, again and again, to trust God's presence. There is a quiet beauty in this kind of restoration. It does not draw attention to itself, yet it changes everything. You may still remember the moments of heaviness, the times when your thoughts felt crowded or your heart felt unsettled, but those moments no longer define you. They have become part of your past, not your present reality. What defines you now is the peace that remains, the calm that returns, and the trust that continues to grow within you. You are learning that true strength is not loud or forceful. It is quiet, steady, and deeply grounded. It allows you to face life without fear taking control. It allows you to move forward without constantly looking back. And it reminds you that no matter what comes, you are not alone. God's presence is not something that appears only in certain moments. It is constant, faithful, and always near. There may still be times when life feels uncertain, but those moments no longer carry the same weight. You have learned how to return to peace. You have learned how to pause, breathe, and trust. These simple actions have become powerful tools, guiding you back to a place of calm whenever you need it. And each time you return, that peace becomes stronger, more familiar, and more deeply rooted within you. Take a moment to fully receive this truth. You are restored, not perfectly, not completely free from every challenge, but genuinely and deeply renewed. The process is still ongoing, but the foundation has been set. You are no longer standing in fear, but in quiet assurance. You are no longer reacting to every thought, but choosing what to hold on to and what to release. There is also a growing sense of gratitude within you, not because everything is perfect, but because you can see how far you have come. You can recognize the gentle work that has taken place within your heart. You can feel the difference in your thoughts, your emotions, and your overall sense of peace. This gratitude strengthens your trust, reminding you that God has been with you through every step of this journey. As you continue forward, carry this restoration with you. Let it shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. You are not defined by past fears or uncertainties. You are defined by the peace that now lives within you, and this peace is not fragile. It is steady, enduring, and sustained by God's presence. So you stand now, not with tension, but with calm, not with fear, but with trust, not with heaviness, but with lightness. And in this place of gentle restoration, you are ready to move forward, held securely in the quiet and faithful presence of God. A gentle closing in peace and faith. As this journey comes to a quiet close, take a moment to rest in what has been gently formed within you. You have walked through reflection, release, prayer, and renewal. And even if everything does not feel perfect, something real has taken place inside your heart. There is more peace now. There is more space to breathe. There is a growing trust that you are not alone and never have been. Let this moment be simple. You do not need to strive to hold on to this peace. It is not something fragile that will disappear. It is something rooted in God's presence, steady and faithful. Whenever you feel unsettled again, you can return to this place. You can pause, breathe, and remember that you are covered, guided, and gently restored. Heavenly Father, thank you for your presence throughout this journey. Thank you for the peace you have placed within my heart. I receive your continued guidance, your protection, and your love. Help me to walk forward in calm trust, releasing fear and embracing the quiet strength you provide each day. If this reflection has touched your heart, take a moment to carry it with you. Let it shape your thoughts, your responses, and your daily life. And if you feel led, share this peace with others who may need it. Amen.